Good morning and evening, everybody, and welcome to this live team meeting on April 8th, 2018. As per usual, we'll be bringing a sum up of last meeting. We'll be talking about some news and updates. We'll flash up the short-term roadmap again this week, and we're going to be asking for some community help and support. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end as well. So in last meeting, we talked about the updated website, what we're calling version 1.5. That's up live now, and there's a few more things to tweak on it, but we're pretty happy with where it is. We've brought more transparency with the team pictures there and names for more than half the team, and there's more to come. We talked about ZelTrez last week as well, or 2 weeks ago. Development's coming along well with ZelTrez, and we are on target to hit our release date of late May. The Copay Android wallet has had a bit of a blip with some database issues, but that's been fixed up now, and it was caused by the amount of requests we're actually getting. So we've obviously had an increase in users, which is great. I'll also mention CryptoBridge. We are still trying to work with them. They still can't accept ZelCash forks yet, so hopefully in the coming days, but we have reached out to many more exchanges. A lot of help there from Daniel coordinating that, who's a new member of the team who we'll introduce later on. Yeah, so Daniel, do you want to introduce a little bit about yourself?
Sure, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Yeah. So I'm coming to the team. I have about 30 years in IT operations, and I know that you can't believe it, but I'm an old head in the game. I've been in the space for about 2 years, and have looked at different projects to advise. None that I could really get behind till I found the ZelCash team and the dev team behind that. So what I'm looking to bring to the team is ongoing guidance and development in particular areas, especially with helping guide the team with marketing, getting added to exchanges and things like that.
Yeah, and Daniel's been helping out with some of the infrastructure for us as well. He has got a small data center, which has been a great help for us as we've been working on the ZelTrez project as well. So we are working on a newer version of the website soon. That was mentioned last meeting, the multi-page design. We're on target to hit that as per the roadmap. We are working more on the marketing and public relations. We are going to be releasing merchandise in the coming week or so, 2 weeks. We're hoping to include some community designs. So if you've got anything you want to share, send them in. We're going to set up a Discord channel for those suggestions, and we'll see what we can throw on a t-shirt or a mug, Zella related, obviously. And Twitter is active again, now being managed by Parker. We are looking out for a full-time social media manager to help spread through the multiple platforms. But we have got Twitter being looked after by Parker again now, and it's active. So follow it at ZelCash for all the latest updates and news. So Daniel, you're going to take this part now?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right.
So we have quite a bit of movement and push on exchange listings. Currently, we have submitted our application to be listed on the Binance info site. So essentially, you need to be listed on the Binance info site before you can be considered by Binance, and there are some legal compliance items that need to come into play as well. We're working through those details now and trying to get that pushed up the rung, so to speak, to the next tier in Binance to get consideration. I want to make sure that I start off by saying that we need to table our expectations specifically around exchange listings. We know that we need to get off of stocks exchange, but we also know too that it's going to be an ongoing process process to get to that point. We have also worked on the Coin Pulse is a community-driven coin. So we do have a link floating around where you can vote. I encourage everybody that's listening to the call, take the time, go vote. We actually jumped over a few fairly significant names in the space, ZelCash being one of them on that listing in community upvotes. We have also been working with our coin market cap piece as well. So we have to get about $100,000 in volume per day, which we had some pretty good days the other day, and I think we'll continue to have some pretty good days once we get our onto another exchange. One of the exchanges that we need to look at is either Yobit or BitZ as well. So I've been working with Scribbles to work on those particular items and try to get them listed. One of the other areas that I wanted to bring in my level of expertise was to get Miles involved in some of the areas, possible booking on a very significant crypto podcast that's got a very high level of followers and is pretty well versed in the Twitter space. So we're in the process of working out the details. We're thinking we may try to coincide this around the ZelTrez release or something of that nature. ZelCash was added to a sponsored list of the Crypto Coin Con, which is a cryptocurrency coin event that will be in the Philadelphia area. So they will have a banner, and they also will get a table for information. So we want to also look toward some possible merchandise and some other items to be able to really bring up a conversation around ZelCash and the project. We are also working on getting a walking banner at Consensus. If anybody's been to any of these events, there are banners that are kind of float around, and we're working on trying to get one in there. We should be able to do that without an issue. ZelCash was also, as I travel and I speak at some of these conferences, I've been adding the ZelCash name to the sponsored list. So we were picking it up and getting the name out there. Want to get a couple good banners to be able to put through these conventions. It gets people talking about new and emerging products. And then I just spoke briefly about our market cap and our volume needed for exchange listings. Again, I want to state that we have to be very patient with the process of getting listed on another exchange. I know there's always a tendency for people to want to have it instantaneously, but we want to make sure that we vet these exchanges and make sure that we go through them and the process is done properly. The review of these coins that are being uplisted now is unbelievably thorough. And I don't know, I've been in this space for a while. I've seen coins list, and the process was very easy. It's become all but impossible, and they do that to help control some of the crap coins that float around, and they're really trying to thin things out. The other one was officially our application was accepted for Coinami. We are actually in the integration phase now with Konami to get this listed in their wallet, and that should happen. I'm thinking probably within the next few weeks. That again, they are on our backlog as well, so we have to understand that we're not the only ones out there that are pushing their products hard. So they're in a backlog as well. So the goal is 2 weeks, but it could be we could have a push out beyond that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, I'm going to try and make it out to the Philadelphia conference and be there. And I'm going to try and get myself in a few more. Knowing, and everyone knows how young I am still having to deal with the normal 16-year-old stuff of school, etc. So I have got sort of final exams there in the UK called GCSEs. And once I get them out of the way, I'll be traveling a lot more, trying to get to as many conferences as possible, spreading Zel best I can.
Yeah, and I just want to point out too that you have a very unique story, and I think that is that's drawing a high level of interest in the space, because I think that amongst other things, that definitely sets us out different from the pack as well. We're a very young yet seasoned and real dev team.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Daniel. The Q2 roadmap, as you can see on screen now, is so far on target. everything's coming along, and hopefully with now Coinomi, we might not have our own native iOS wallet, but we will be on iOS, which is a great move considering 70+% of the phone market is dominated by Apple and iOS. So that's positive. ZelTrez, as mentioned earlier, is going along well, and we're pretty excited to bring that to the community. Next, this is going to be taken by Parker, but he's having some technical issues now, so I'll take this. We're looking for community help and outreach now. So as mentioned earlier, some new designs for merchandise. If you've got something cool, you're an artist and you want to put something on a t-shirt that's to do with Zel, and it's good, we'll accept it, and we'll get it put on a t-shirt. Keep voting on there's daily voting on CoinPulse for Zel, so if you guys could keep that up, that'd be great, and hopefully we can move away from stocks. We already have got GraviX, and I've been talking to some of the pool operators as well, some sort of outside of the team, but still sort of closely integrated, and it's looking like it may be a GraviX and one other, same size or bigger than stocks is sort of the exchange criteria we need to be hitting, so that we don't end up losing volume if we just go solely to GraviX. To also mention, the stocks exchange issues weren't just us. Other coins are moving off them. We're going to try and move off them. It is just most likely due to people mining to the exchange, and that's causing a backlog in their wallet system. But it's kind of inexcusable, really, and it's really is too slow. So we are going to do our best to move away from them. We also need some help with translations. I posted in the Chinese Discord channel asking for some help with a translation for an application to an exchange. So all sorts of languages are welcome. If you just want to DM Parker trial123 on Discord, that'd be great. With the language you do, and then we can hopefully set up some sort of bounties to help with that. We want it to be more community root based though, and that's why we weren't doing it from the onset where we just get people that are hungry for money. We'd rather have community members helping with translation rather than outsiders. And then the two positions we have open right now, as well as always open for people helping with development and community management, we're also looking now for a social media manager and a marketing manager. Anyone with experience in those areas, it would be great if you could step up and help us. Be wonderful. This week's community suggestions were CoinPulse, and the voting is going well. As Daniel mentioned, we passed Zen and some other big coins on that voting system. So keep voting. I'll post a link in the announcements section of Discord after the meeting ends, where you guys can vote, and you're allowed to vote daily. So keep going for that. And then yes, the updated Bitcoin talk post. I'm getting DiMartini and Lumi to work on some new graphics for that, and as well as we get all the new links and new information posted up on there, and look after a bit more. So now I've got the open Q&As time. So ask either in YouTube chat or Discord, the public meeting channel, and we'll answer some of your live questions. One that's already come in from Cord. I guess that's how you pronounce your name. What is a realistic estimate of when we will be listed on CoinMarketCap and what to mine? As soon as we get on a big exchange. The exchange requirements for what to mine are listed on their website, and it's the most likely one we might get on is Yobit. We have reached out to them and we're working to get on there. Then we'll probably be on what to mine. To get on CoinMarketCap, it's just a volume game. It's marketing, it's outreach, and it's getting enough volume to be listed on there. We need 100K volume in one day to be able to get listed. So maybe the next month, 2 months. I can see it definitely within 2 months. So, any news on the next charity fund? I know Daniel and Mark, known as Elsewhere, is working on the next charity fund and what we're going to be using that for. The Zel Uni idea, which was thrown around a few weeks ago, I'm going to try and get Mark to come and talk about it It's an interesting idea, and we're hoping to bring that to the community sooner rather than later. And as we set up the Zel Foundation as an official foundation and charitable organization, we'll start doing our own charity work within the community, sort of focusing more on coding and that kind of area of charity work, sort of running code camps and stuff like that. So if you have any more questions, throw them in either channel. We'll be live for another few minutes. This is a bit of a short meeting this week, but mostly positive. How many core devs are there at this point? In terms of core devs, we have, I'd say 4 or 5. We're always reaching and outreaching for more. But yeah, 5 core devs at the moment working on the project.
Miles, this is Dan. I just wanted to add too as well. We were added to the vote list for Blockfolio as well. There is a link to that. I believe it's in the Discord floating around. But if everyone can go out and vote for that as well, just to get us added to Blockfolio. We are in I can't remember the name of the other app, but Delta. So we are in Delta, but we are not in Blockfolio. So any help that you guys can get with getting us added, that'd be great.
I'll try and reach out to them through Twitter as well. Hopefully we can get added. But yeah, voting would be great. So we'll keep this open for the next 2 minutes or so. So throw any questions in either channel. Thank you. Okay, last question. Mentioning the work on a pop quiz type competition that Elsewhere was going to work on. I believe he is still working on that, and we're thinking that's going to be coming along as part of the marketing campaign in a few weeks' time. So he is working on that still. I'm going to try and get him on a live meeting either later this week or for the next live meeting to ensure that he can talk about all the stuff he's been working on, which has been a lot. So I think that'll do it for this week. Thank you for everyone's questions. Thank you for your support. And yeah, cheers, everybody.